Hello, Potato, and welcome to Weekend Magic for April the 15th, 2023. Now, you notice here, of course, that we have the Disney 100 Years of Wonder pinboard on the table, and it is not a Disney Decades week. In fact, the next Disney Decades comes out on the Monday after this video is recorded and released at now 8 a.m. They've moved it from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., and it seems like they've kind of moved releasing new merchandise on the website to both still midnight, but then 8 a.m. as well instead of 7 a.m. And I wonder why that is, what the move is, because I just don't understand what that lines up to. I can't imagine it makes it any easier for people on the East Coast who are waiting for these releases, because now they're releasing it, 11 a.m. instead of 10 a.m., which I can't imagine makes things particularly any easier. At least like 10 a.m. might be around like coffee breaks and stuff. And on the West Coast, 7 a.m. is a good time to head out to work, so it's a good time to buy these things in the car. 8 a.m., not so much, but I think we'll manage it. Honestly, this month's release, the 40s, doesn't look very good to me. I think we're just going to go pins this time. It's even bigger mishmash than last time. So you have the Pinocchio backpack, which of course we knew about. And just this week I finally found pictures of the rest of the collection. We're going to have a Dumbo Pink Elephants Magic Band, which I feel like that is maybe not the best use of Dumbo. We're going to have... So it's Fantasia. The 40s is Fantasia. And you might think, oh, we will have a Sorcerer Mickey thing, right? No, you'd be absolutely wrong. We're going to have a little bag full of plush Pegasuses. Pegasi? Like 4 or 5 plush Pegasus. We'll just do 5 Pegasus, 1 Pegasus, 2 Pegasus, 3 Pegasus. A bag of Pegasus. So that's... I mean, I wasn't doing the plush anyway, so I'm glad to not have a plush. Plus, I have a couple Sorcerer Mickey plushes, so don't really need one. The ears are going to be Tres Caballeros, which they definitely make a statement, though. The ears definitely are bright and cheerful, and my wife does not seem interested in them in the slightest. So we're going to probably skip the ears this time again. And they're getting no toy. No toy. What was the point of the toy? I was so jazzed in January or February with the 20s that we had a toy like, oh, we're gonna have a different toy each month. Will it be themed to the decade that like what was popular at the time? Because the 20s was like a replica of a tin toy, and just nothing. 30s and 40s, no toy at all. So Soup's disappointed in that. But the pin actually looks nice. The pin appears to be Scrooge McDuck's Money Vault, a la DuckTales. Now, I associate the Money Vault with DuckTales, as you may have guessed from my already referencing it, but I don't know that it didn't appear earlier. I'm not up on my classic Carl Barks Duck Adventures to say with any level of accuracy or knowledge that the Money Vault didn't appear in those old 1940s stories, or 1948 I think is the first Scrooge McDuck. But this does at least explain somewhat why when we get to the 90s, we're doing the 80s, we're doing Rescue Rangers and not DuckTales, because we're already covering Scrooge and the Money Vault way back in the 40s, which I mean is probably... Also, it is probably appropriate since that's where Scrooge was invented, but Chip and Dale weren't invented in the 80s, and yet Rescue Rangers. So I'm probably just never going to figure that. I'm still sticking to my theory from last month that these were never meant to be a collection. These were just items that were going to be released anyways, that they've just shoehorned into being a collection. And again, this month is just completely incoherent as far as what a theme is, other than these are all things that originated in the 40s. But the pin looks interesting because it's hinged and it opens up, and on one side you're going to have Scrooge with his first dime, and the other side, the site that I saw that on said that they thought it was Fergus McDuck, Scrooge's, I think, father? But to me, honestly, it looks like Flintheart Glomgold. But when the pin shows up, hopefully we'll have some other stuff to look at, because that's going to be a very short video otherwise, because that's, again, I think it's the only thing we're buying out of the decade this time. is going to be the pin. I said before, I'm in for the pins. I'm in for the pins, going to fill this up. But that's, it's more and more seeming like that is going to be all I'm in for some of these. But that's more of a discussion, I think, for a later video once we've purchased and received our pin. So today we do find ourselves burdened with glorious purchase. So I think just to not delay things, let's go ahead and Gator done. Because the second series of Loki is coming out fairly soon. This month? I think next month. On Disney Plus. And they are releasing some new Loki merchandise, including things from the breakout star, I feel. The most interesting version of Loki we saw last season. And that, of course, is Alligator Loki. And my wife ordered this for me. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it is pretty cool looking. Let's open them up and take a look at them. Yeah, we do have Marvel's Alligator Loki as a plush. He's nice and soft and squishy, although we do see, we've seen on the ears recently, we've seen a departure from the CVS receipt tag and replace it with a little booklet. Obviously, we've not gone that route with Alligator Loki. I was really disappointed to find out that he was not a thing on set. Not that I thought it would be an alligator that they had like glued horns to, but I kind of thought it would be maybe an alligator that they CGI'd horns onto. Yeah, the whole thing is CGI, which I suppose if I watched more closely would be obvious. Alligator Loki, does he have a price on him? He does not have a price on him, because why would you? Disney doesn't have stores anymore. No reason to have price tags. Seems good quality. The texturing on the skin here, the scale is actually quite nice. Stitched eyes, stitched teeth. Different fabric for the horn, much more shiny. Not super shiny, but shinier. Certainly smoother. He's very kind of velvety soft. Not like super plush, but softer than you might think by looking at him. Yeah, very neat. But of course, there is always two. A master and an apprentice. And yep, she ordered me a second Alligator Loki. I did like them both, but she ordered me a second one as well. And so we have a little Alligator Loki. Now this one is not just a plush. This is one of those, what are they called? Shoulder pals or something like that? You've seen these things before. When I was at Disneyland last year a couple times, I've seen like Orange Bird, Remy, Zero. These little plushes that have a magnet with them, which is in here in the little booklet, I think. Yep, a little magnetic pad you put under the shoulder of your shirt. Then you stick Loki to the top side of the shoulder of your shirt, and then he rides around on your shoulder, hopefully securely. I did see people at Disneyland walking around, not with this one obviously, but with these little shoulder pals. And they did seem to not be having issues, although, I wouldn't want to leave him on there on, Pirates of the Caribbean or Space Mountain or something. But just walking around seems to be pretty safe. There, just as Alligator Loki, shoulder plush. I thought they had a nicer name than that. And he is, I think, actually made out of different color, but the same fabric, because the scales on him are the same size as the scales on him. So it's not a uniquely made fabric, but it is a different color of it. I would say he looks a little derpier. I know it's, when you make things smaller, sometimes it gets harder to do detail, but I feel like his face, maybe it's because the mouth is open, but he's a little derpier looking. But I guess if he's going to ride on your shoulder, you want him to look friendly, right? He does not look as severe as our big plush here. What do you think? I do think just quality-wise, this is probably the better of the two. But you can't wear him on your shoulder. So, I don't know, maybe I need to make a Fat Loki cosplay and wear him on my shoulder at a future SAC anime or SACCon or something. Now, you may be wondering, if all I'm going to do this week is look at Alligator Loki, why have I brought out the pin board? Because we're not doing decades. Well, that's because we do actually have a couple pins to look at, starting with this one. My wife picked this one out. It is the Earth Day 2023 pin. Has Earth Day happened yet? I'm going to guess not, because Disney actually has been pretty good this year about releasing things for days ahead of the days, so you could have them for the day. Like the fact they've already released the Star Wars Day shirt and hat and stuff, so you can actually wear them on Star Wars Day. I'm going to guess that Earth Day hasn't actually happened yet. But this year's Earth Day pin is Bambi. I feel like Wally ends up being in a lot of these Earth Day ones, but this time we've gone with Bambi. It's a limited edition. Pins are limited release pin. It's got Bambi and Flower, double pin back, Mickey pin back, because it's not Marvel. Can you make it stand up easier? How about like that? Not so much. But it's not a 100th anniversary pin or anything, but it's nice. Is it, no, it is single layer, but we do have, the background here is like, I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but the little bluish background there is like a see-through material, which does give this some depth, because you can see back basically to the back metal of the pin. I mean, it's only, what, a couple millimeters, but it does actually give it a little bit of a sense of depth. It gives it a look from an appearance, from a distance to me, like this is pin on pin, and it's not. It's just a single layer. And I'll point out that the tree here, not part of the pin. The pin just kind of ends with Bambi's head there. It's just Bambi and Flower standing in a field. But it's, again, no price on it. Don't remember how much it cost. But my wife liked it. And you don't see a lot of Bambi stuff. You really don't see a lot of Bambi stuff. So it is a nice addition to our collection. But as cool as the Bambi pin is, we do have one other pin, and I think this one's a little bit more impressive, and it is the reason we brought out the pin board today, and that is this. As part of the Disney 100, it is the Fantasyland Mickey and Minnie pin. It's Mickey and Minnie standing in front of a window looking out onto a castle. Is it Cinderella Castle? Is it Sleeping Beauty Castle? I don't know. But it's a castle. It's a Fantasyland castle. And interesting on this, when you look at the back here, I mean, it looks like, it's obviously pin on pin. Mickey and Minnie are a different layer from the silver window there. And then you have some kind of clear plastic in there, or enamel. And then you have the image of the castle behind it. But look at this. This actually has I can count. It has 6 pin backs. 6 pin backs for a single pin, $29.99. And which I kind of thought the pin was going to be a little smaller than it is. Even though it's $30, I was thinking it would be a little smaller, but there's a view of it without the plastic in front of it. Now, why does it have so many pin backs? Well, that's because you actually get not 1 pin, but 3. Because Mickey and Minnie, I didn't mean to pull that one off already, but it's off now. Mickey and Minnie are actually separate pins. So you can position them like so, flanking the window and giving you a perfect view. Now, you can see the little holes there. I don't feel those are too intrusive though, do you? And was this, I don't think this is limited edition or anything. I think this is an open edition pin, but I'm wondering, is this the start of a series? And I feel like there's a lack of coherency in a lot of stuff for Disney 100, so probably not. But I absolutely would be down to buy a series of Mickey and Minnie pins, or even other characters, themed to different lands. Like have this be the first one being, generally the center of the park, Fantasyland. But if we could have like, a New Orleans Square pin, and a Tomorrowland pin, and a Toontown pin, that would be fantastic. Maybe not a Galaxy's Edge pin, but I wouldn't say no to one. And even maybe, like a Hollywood Studios pin, a Liberty Square pin, pins for different areas in the different parks, even parks I haven't been to. I would not be necessarily against getting pins from those areas. So I reckon it's a good thing that Mickey and Minnie here showed up, because I feel like Captain Marvel here It's been getting a little lonely on the back of this board all by herself, which interestingly, I went and looked for any more of these silver pins, and they seem like they weren't going for a while, then suddenly they're all gone, except the one I bought already. Captain Marvel was the only one that, at least earlier this week, I haven't looked today, but earlier this week, Captain Marvel was the only one still on the site. So like Grogu and Woody and Spider-Man and all those other ones are gone. But at least now we do have a friend for Captain Marvel back here in our Fantasyland window pin. Because I really do hope that this is going to be a series, because I am totally down for buying more of these. Although, as big as everything, they will fill up this board rather quickly on this side. Mickey in place. But there, now at least, they're not quite even. I have to fix that later. But now at least Captain Marvel's not back here all by herself. She has friends in Mickey and Minnie and a nice view onto Fantayland. And I didn't realize, actually, let's pull that back off. I thought that was a backing there. That's actually a see-through backing. So it is actually clear. It's actually see-through. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. On the backing, it has Disney 100 logo on here. It has numbers, which I'm sure for like really like hardcore collectors, you know what all those numbers and stuff mean. I don't. I'm not a hardcore collector on these. But yeah, we do now have another pin on the back side of the Disney 100 pin board. And that will wrap us up for this week. I hope you found this all interesting or entertaining. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.